Hello everybody. Welcome back. This is Professor West, and I am doing some short videos on Microsoft Excel this week, and I'm just going to jump right in. Once you start Excel and you get this sheet, or you get this page, as I said, if you want to create a blank workbook, which is what we're going to be doing, you could click on this one. And if you wanted if you want to make a calendar, this is a template that's already set up, and you would just make some minor changes to it as opposed to having to create the whole thing yourself. There's a lot of options on here based on what you might want to be doing, so you might want to play around with these a little bit and see. Also, up at the top, there's some different options. There's business, personal, lists, planners and trackers, or if you have an idea, you could do a search for one, and budgets, charts, whatever, so that you can find the one that you need. And worst case scenario, if you can't find it on here, odds are there's one online that you could use as an example. So for now, if you're going to follow along with me, we're going to go ahead and click on blank workbook. If you've already gone to this point with something else and you want to go back so you can follow along with me, all you have to do is go to File and New, and it brings you right back here. So we're going to do a workbook, and now this is the workbook that I'll be using. Okay, some basics about Excel. Right off the bat, this is a row. This is row 2. See the number 2 over here? This entire row is row 2. This is row 6. This is row 11, and so forth. How many rows are there? If you start scrolling down, there are thousands. So I'm not going to go all the way down. I just wanted you to be aware that there are tons, so you're not limited to just what's on the screen. Rows go across. If you want to go down, these are columns. This is column A. This is column B, C, D, E, F, G. How many columns are there? About as many columns as there are rows. If you get past Z, it starts with AA, AB, AC. When you get past it, now we're doing BA, BC, and so forth. There's tons and tons, so you're not limited to just the 50 or 100 that you can see on the screen here. I just wanted to point that out. Each row and each column intersect at what we call a cell. This is a cell. In fact, this is cell C4. You always do the letter first and then the number. So this one here would be E5. This would be A10. That's just how we do it. So we always do the letter first and then the row number. You can do anything you want in these cells. If I click on this cell, I can just start typing. Hello, this is the first time I am typing. Notice that it kept going over these other cells. This is all still technically in cell A. And if I click on cell A, this bar here shows me what's in it. If I click on cell B, notice that nothing is in it. If I decide to start typing in cell B, great time with Excel, I'm having fun. So notice that B overrides, and you just can't see all of what's in A right now. I'll show you how to fix all that later. I just wanted to point out that just because it's over the top of one right now doesn't mean that it's part of that cell. Don't worry about all this. I'm going to hit the delete key while pointing at that cell. So don't worry about all this for right now. We're going to use some of the basic tools, and later I'll get into some more of that stuff. So right off the bat, here's the Home tab. What you're going to notice when you look at the Home tab is there's an awful lot of stuff on here. The first half of it is just like it was in Microsoft Word. There's the font size, the font type. Size and type. There's bold, there's italics, there's underline. Don't worry about this one right now. There's highlighting, there's changing the color, there's centering, left aligning, right aligning. We'll play around with some of this later. And then over here are some other stuff that we'll get to later also. I just wanted to point out that it works exactly like it did in Word. If I come here and I put customer, and I decide, you know what, I want to make that bigger, I can highlight it. Only notice I'm highlighting it over here instead of over here. and I could say, oh, I want that to be 24. And notice now that it doesn't fit because it's so big. But when I click off of it, it's set to automatically at least show it this way. It didn't automatically change this way. This is still, B is right here under this. But I can fix that if I want, simply by coming between A and B, clicking, and dragging. This changes the size of column A. If I do it after column B, it changes the size of column B. I can make it any size I want. I can make it really big. I can make it small. I can make it tiny. Whatever I want to do. It all depends on how I want it to show up. Also, just like in Microsoft Word, once I highlight it, I could come through and tell it, oh, let's change the color to red. And whatever else I want to do. I can bold it. I can underline it. I can italics it. Whatever I want to do. All these same functionalities are going to be here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there on this example. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And join us in the next segment.